His mullet was sick, dude.
Yeah.
Especially how he dyes it.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's not balding like me, though.
I don't think you were.
You know what? I think we're gonna be friends.
Don't do that. Welcome back, everybody, to Deep Talks. We are back in it again. Another episode. Me, the Gilbert boy. Okay. We're gonna talk about some heavy stuff in this podcast, or at least in this episode. Exes, I should say. Exes.
Oof, that's
Exes.
it. Ooh, our exes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I want to talk about high points and low points, man. I want to talk about the good stuff
and the bad stuff
and the really bad stuff. We don't have to. Obviously, we'll keep them anonymous.
I'm throwing their name.
Oh shit!
Fuck them. I'm throwing dirt on all of them. Like, she did this. She did that. Fuck all you guys. No, that be sucks.
Yeah. I always think it's good to reflect, because when you think about exes, like, they're the people that are in your life at your most vulnerable, I should say, because they know you at your best and at your worst. They know you, and then you get to know them too. And it's a symbiotic relationship. But what I'm trying to say is that in that time when you guys are together, you're one person, but when you break up, you're completely different. You evolve, you become something more. Depending on who the person is. Every relationship that I go into, try to keep it in fresh. And when I break up with them, it's usually because we just are going different ways, and I just want... I realize my mistakes, and it's just better to break up.
Yeah.
So going into a new relationship, I take everything that I learned from the last one, and of what worked, what didn't work, and then just going into a new relationship, new perspective, but trying to become a better person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you don't hurt the other person.
Yeah.
So there's both ways. And obviously, in a relationship, not every person is perfect. I know I wasn't, but we're gonna talk about high points and low points real quick.
I feel like everybody has to go through a super shitty phase.
I think
either they themselves or their ex.
Yes, I think every human being either A, has to go through a breakup and experience love and fear, and B, has to get punched in the face.
Yep.
That has to happen in life.
You have to go through your heartbreak.
Absolutely.
I feel like if you don't, then it's kind of like there's something not right with you.
Yeah, it's you have to go through it, but then you have to recover in a healthy way too.
Yeah.
And sometimes the recovery is usually not the healthy way, and that's how we get through problems or whatever stuff. Anyway, okay, I didn't start dating until I was talking about this in middle school or elementary school.
Yeah.
There's this girl that I wanted to date or whatever, and I dated her when I was in elementary school. I forgot how old. You know, like when you're in elementary school.
What grade?
Fourth, probably.
8, 9. You're 10.
I'm probably third grade. Oh no, I was in third grade.
So you were 9.
Yeah. And this girl, I forget if her name was Natasha or something like that.
Natasha.
This girl was dating all the dudes, and she was just making her way around.
At 9 years old.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know. So what ended up happening was that she comes up to me, and she's like, "Hey, you want to go out?" And we're kids, obviously, not.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then she's like, "Oh, okay, I love you." And she says my name, and then I start saying her last name, and I fucking butcher it. And she's like, "Oh, that's not how you say my name. We're gonna break up now." And I'm like,
"That's it? Just like that."
That was the first.
You blew it.
That was my first girlfriend. I blew it in like 10 seconds. Fucked it up. I messed it up. Oh.
Yeah.
So in any case, we go into what was it? High school is when high school. Fuck. That's when dating actually started.
Like for you?
Every semester there was not. I was probably not dating all the time, but I was dating. Or sorry, I was probably not. Yeah, I was.
You were like stuck with somebody.
I was stuck with a girl.
Yeah.
Every semester there was always a girl. It's the weirdest thing.
How many? There's like 2 semesters, isn't there?
For high school.
Yeah.
For all 4 years. Every semester. I believe there was 4 semesters.
Oh, for your school?
Yeah. I think every school does it differently. I forget what it is. Anyway.
So you had 16 girlfriends throughout 4 years?
No. I only had like 1 or 2 girlfriends throughout high school.
Yeah.
But when I didn't have a girlfriend, there was always a girl around.
Yeah.
So my first girlfriend was a Hispanic girl that we used to play soccer with. I'll call her Macaroni or whatever. Because I'm romantic.
You could have just called her Bessie, Cristiano, this macaroni girl.
Macaroni girl.
All right. Did she like macaroni?
No, I don't. It's when I've known her. She's been a part of my of my kind of like family. Obviously, we're not related or anything like that, but she's been
She your
friends.
cousin?
No. Is she one of them? Like,
Is she one of your cousins?
she part of the tree? No.
Yeah.
No. She knows. The parents have always known my family, and then we would occasionally go over to their place.
Yeah.
And then they would have like little things.
Do I know Macaroni Girl?
Huh?
Do I know Macaroni?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But you know someone that she's related to, which I won't.
All right. Which you should.
yeah.
You should give it a little shot here and there, just a little wiki week. Start naming personal names down the list.
Yeah, no. In any case, the first time I go to her house when I was like I don't know, like 12 years old or something like that, or whatever age middle school is, whatever.
Yep.
I opened up a bag of cereal because I'm hungry as fuck, and they lived in an apartment similar to mine.
In her house.
In her apartment, I should say, yeah. And I'm like, I'm hungry as fuck, so let's eat cereal.
Yeah.
And I open the box up, and roaches come out of it, like fucking.
No.
Yeah.
I've had that same experience. No.
And I'm like, the fuck is this? We're not dating. We're just we're just shooting the shit. But then I'm like, I can't eat this. So she grabs it and she's like, what's wrong? So she pours a bowl for herself. And I'm like, the fuck? I can't eat this, dude. I just can't. Pours the cereal, starts eating it. I'm like, did you not just see what the fuck came out of there?
Did you not tell her?
I did.
And she didn't care.
We both were like, no, because she opened the box, they flew out. I jumped back and she was like, oh, hey.
She's like, it's just like, oh, that's Jorge. That's freaking Richie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a long time ago, though. That was before we even dated. Anyway, later she matured a lot more. And we liked I was at, what's it called? I was at a party and she was there. And this is years ago, dude. Not even.
When you said mature, all I thought to myself was like, did you just realize not to eat cockroaches? Is that what you call mature? She's like, yeah, okay.
Is a woman now.
Yeah. I thought you meant as in like, oh yeah, she don't eat cockroaches no more. She's not. It's not. It phases her now instead of being unfazed by it. But all right.
Yeah, man. So anyway, I'm at a party and there she comes. What's it called? She lives like 2 blocks away from the party.
Okay.
And she was about to leave, so I was like, hey, if you want, I'll walk you home. And throughout the entire party, we're just kind of flirting back and forth, like we're trying to feel each other's vibes and shit like that. So I walk her to her house, and as I did this, I don't know if it was a baller move, but like I go like, all right, God, I'll see you later. And she's like, it's good to hang out sometime. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be good. And then I'm like, fuck it, I go up and I give her a kiss on the cheek. Dude,
what a simp. Continue. Yeah, continue.
No, I was definitely simp back then, like super much before the term even existed. I was probably the first simp ever.
Yeah.
So I give her a kiss, and then she just blew up like, whoa. And
like mad wise?
No, she was like, or glowing, I should say.
Oh, so she was red. Yeah, she got really red.
Yeah. I'm just setting my timer. Sorry. And then at that point, we started talking more, and it got to the point where her dad did not want us dating. Like at all. You all right?
I'm so sorry. I just thought you kissing her and me just thinking probably a cockroach just went over her face. Like in her sleep, it's just like a little cockroach.
Corpse Bride? You ever seen Corpse Bride?
Yeah.
Like the worm pops out the eye.
Exactly. I'm just like, you just kiss cockroach face.
I should have never talked about that story. That's not who she is at all. She's a very nice person. I think she's married now and everything. Has kids and whatever.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
In any case,
I'm so sorry.
So I'm just gonna tell you my first one, and then we'll go to yours.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, we'll ping pong. So from there, her dad hated me.
Yeah.
He did not want us to date, like, at all.
Not because of the cockroaches, right?
He's like, you're not part of our family.
Okay.
Or like the guy from Resident Evil 7, like, welcome to the family, son.
Yeah.
It wasn't like anything like that. But no, he thought that I was like my dad. A womanizer, a manipulator, or just...
Oh, like a big pimp, a big player.
Just literally goes and fucks every fucking... Like, people don't know my dad, but like, my dad was, in the time when he was in his prime...
Yeah.
He was a chick magnet.
Yeah.
all the time.
Right.
And he was just like the coolest dude to be around with, and like he would just always be when he wasn't with my mom, be flirting all the time.
Right.
And it just came naturally. I considered him to be the Austin Powers of my time.
Of the Mexican. Yeah.
That was my dad. Anyway. So yeah, since her dad knew my dad, he was just like, no, you guys can't be in the same room together.
Right. So he already had expectations of you.
Yeah.
Oh, what an asshole.
So one time, and this was like exciting actually as a kid. I lived like probably 5 miles away.
Yeah.
And her dad was she was like, this is freshman year of high school. So, hey, do you want to come over? My dad's not home. Like, we can like watch a movie or some shit. And like, I never get to be around her with her friends there.
Right.
We always have to do the sneak around shit, whatever.
Sneaky link. Ooh.
Always do. We would like go to a tree, like what's it called? There was like this spot where like no one could spot us or whatever. We would just like stay there and make out all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, her dad wasn't there, so she's like, come over. So I'm like, oh fuck yeah. So I biked all the way to her place. We watched the movie for like 10 seconds, and then she was like, oh shit, I think my dad's here. And I'm like,
ooh.
What? She's like, yeah, I think you gotta go. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, he's not gonna fucking, can't just leave?
Yeah.
And like he didn't forget his keys or something. Like, she's like, I don't know, but you gotta fucking go.
She couldn't hide you?
And I'm like, why can't I just hide on the? We were in the basement.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't I just hide in the closet or some shit? No, he checks every room. She was like going down at it, dude. Yeah. She was telling me some paranoid shit before, right? Like, she would be like, "Oh, it's hard to call you on my phone because he traces my phone bill."
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So this dad is like up her ass.
Protective.
Yeah.
She was a pretty good-looking girl.
She sounds sheltered.
Yeah, very good-looking girl, and yeah, definitely sheltered and her mom gave me full support. Her mom.
Are you guys dating? Are you guys dating? Okay.
But her dad was just like, I don't like what's going on there. Like,
yeah,
I don't like his color of his skin or whatever. So anyway,
you disrespected the cockroaches in my house.
This is a mistake.
Okay, sorry. I won't bring it up anymore. I'm
it's
done.
fine. It adds to the.
I won't bring it up. I've brought it up way too much.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But anyway, she's like, "Get the fuck out!" And I'm like, "What? Why can't I just hide like under the bed?" He's like, "No, he's gonna come in here. He's gonna look under the bed sheets and he's gonna find you there." And I'm like, "How the fuck does this?" I'm like, literally like thinking, "There's no way he's fucking insane like that."
Yeah.
So I go to the back room, and sure enough, he's in there. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she's like, good. And I'm just overhearing them. I'm by the back door of the kitchen, so I can just easily leave out.
Yeah.
But before I leave out, I'm like, something's like, it's really weird, their conversation.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? Just watching movies? And then as he's doing that, he's checking every room. You can hear him go, checking every room.
So she's probably fucking being like weird and like giving off suspicious vibes.
Maybe, probably acting really nervous and shit.
Yeah.
But he is doing what she said he would do. He's checking shit.
Yeah.
He's checking for.
He's getting closer to you.
Yeah, and as I hear his voice grow like louder as he's getting closer to me, I'm like, fuck this. Open the back door, and I leave, and I'm like, I'm just booking it. Yeah. And he's like, hey. Like that, like, and I'm fucking running and shit. I don't know if you can see me enough. I'm fucking running. It's the most terrifying experience of my life.
You're just booking it,
dude. I'm booking it to like the neighbor's house, like all the way jumping fences and shit.
Yeah. What happened to your bike? You just left it there?
I just left it there.
You didn't even care?
Shit. Yeah. I'll come back for it later.
Yo.
And so that was, we ended up dating for like, I don't know how long it was.
So you guys ended up together?
We ended up dating for like maybe like a couple more months later, but he really didn't trust me.
Approve it.
Yeah, and there was a point where like it got really dark with like now the parents are doing some creepy shit with each other or whatever, where my dad was dating my stepmom at the time. I don't think they were married, but there were some like weird intermingling things happening.
Like love triangle shit.
Yeah. And it was just kind of like, I think we just got to stop this. This is being weird.
Yeah.
And we ended up breaking apart, and it did hurt me because it was my first relationship, but I was like, fuck.
This was high school, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then I just literally after that, like, I went through that breakup, but then, I'll talk about all the other girls through my semesters, but there was always a girl in high school every semester that was with me. And I couldn't explain why.
Yeah.
And even in college, always a girl there. It's weird.
I
Anyway,
have a story that's similar to that aspect, dude. I remember I was like 14 dating my first girlfriend. This is like, I guess, first actual girlfriend that I was intimate with. And
middle school then.
No, freshman year.
Okay.
So, but I was 14.
Okay.
I hadn't turned 15 yet. So it was like the summer of it, leading into that freshman year. And dude, I remember one time I was at her house, and she goes like, her dad was strict. And I remember that like her dad came home and she's like, you have to hide.
Yeah.
And I was just like, where the fuck am I gonna hide? I'm like, this is a small trailer home. So I'm like, where the fuck am I gonna hide?
Are you in a room?
I'm in her room. And she goes, you gotta go. She had her like a bunk bed. So she would share one with like her sister would sleep on top. She'd sleep at the bottom. So I had to go against the wall of the corner of the bed. And so I tucked there. Okay. Against the wall on the corner where like there's a gap so I could like slouch in and put me like tuck myself in more.
Did you like put?
And she threw the blankets on top of me, bro, and made it look like she was laying on me. So she was laying on me like and doing her homework. And her dad comes in, bro, and I'm under this blanket looking at the wall like, oh my, yeah, because her dad was fucking nuts. And I'm like, oh my god.
How do you know her dad was nuts? Like, what did he do?
Because I remember one time me and her went to Stillwater as just it was supposed to be like a meetup thing. I was already down there with my friends. Yeah. And I happened to meet up with her and we were getting ice cream and I was talking to her and her dad was there. And her dad turns over and looks that she's talking to me. And they were Guyanese, which is in it's like a little country in Brazil, but they're like Indians. I can't really like I explain it better, but he starts speaking in Guyanese or Guyana. I don't know. The language is Guyanese. And yeah, he's like, no, like, and starts throwing his hands in the air, starts pointing at me and looking. What? And I make eye contact with him, and she turns around because she hears him. She turns around. She's like, leave. And I'm like, I haven't gotten my fucking like ice cream yet. Like she's like, get the fuck out of here. Just leave. Go. And I like walk out, dude. I leave Dairy Queen.
Pulling out like an AK-47.
Bro, yeah. I just leave Dairy Queen. I don't even get my fucking ice cream. I'm a little pissed now because I'm like, wow, I spent $5 on that thing. Like, what the fuck? I didn't even get it. And I could just hear him tweaking in the back. And I'm like, well, this is bullshit, you know? Yeah. So knowing that he's nuts. Okay, yeah. I'm in here in this fucking bed, tucked, and just trying not to breathe, like slowly, just trying to like breathe in and out, not make as much movement. And she's laying on me. She's like sitting on there, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just doing homework and stuff." And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Wild.
And once he like leaves, dude, she leaves with him to guarantee that like he's not gonna come back. Right. She's like, when I text you, like, "Hey, we're gone, get the fuck out of there." So I was just like waiting for that text. I heard the door leave, heard the car start, and they left together. Bro, I didn't even wait for her to text me. I waited 5 minutes. I got the fuck out of there. I got up because like I was like, I'm pretty sure I was naked.
What the fuck were you doing naked, dude? You were 15?
Yeah, so I was 14, and I was like putting my clothes on. And I just dipped the fuck out.
What the fuck were you doing naked?
I'm not saying.
That's how you study?
I don't. Yeah, that's how she was doing art projects, and I was just the model. And I just got out, got my clothes ready. I booked the fuck out. I just got out of there.
Wait a second. So,
never again.
So when her dad entered that room, under the sheets, you were naked. Jesus Christ! Can you imagine what would have happened? If he was just like, hey, stand up for a second. I saw something breathing over there. And he lifted the sheets. Yeah,
she would see a white naked man running out of her fucking like, there is no chance of me like, I'm shoving this dude. Like, I am full body tackling this dude to get out of here. Fuck my clothes. It's broad daylight.
Have you seen Jackass?
Yeah.
Or like the wee man runs naked?
That would be me dipping, bro. I had the thought of it. I would just be like that. So there's times when I would come over and her parents wouldn't know. And one day her mom goes, like, yeah, I see footprints going from the back of my house. And I looked at her and I'm like, strange. I'm like, you probably like, you know, keep an eye out for that because that's definitely not me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like walking away. I'm like, fucking A, dude.
It's like when O.J. Simpson murdered people, and he's telling him like, I wasn't there, but if I was there, that's how I would do it. I wouldn't break into your house. I'd just knock on your door.
That's my related story to yours.
That's fucking wild.
Dipping out.
But that was your first girlfriend?
Yeah.
Jesus. Any high points? Because we thought that was a low point, but was there a high point with that? You know what I mean?
Was there a high point? Oh, with her specifically or with somebody else?
With her, and then we can move on to different.
Yeah, I think she gave me the concept of like starting the blueprint of what a relationship be like.
Was she pretty chill?
Yeah, she was super chill. She was super nice. Like it was health. It was like more of like a learning experience for both ends. Because I'm 14, I don't know shit about the world. Yeah. I have a perception of it, but I really don't know what it is. And so having her perspective into it like grew my mind even more. And even being with my ex afterwards, following up with her, which that was like sophomore of high school. That even expanded my horizons even 10 times more than who I am today. Yeah. So I've definitely grown as a person from each relationship, taking something from here and there.
That's what I'm trying. That's what we're gonna get to at the end of it. But so this girlfriend was just super chill, nothing crazy besides like the dad, but like it was just kind of a normal relationship, nothing too like amazing or.
Yeah, no, it was just more of like a learning experience, like the experimental of like, okay, like I'm entering the realm of being the intimacy aspect of it.
Yeah.
At such a young age, so it's just like, all right, where does this lead?
Right.
Because you get that founding of like online websites and shit like that. I'm not gonna say it, but it's the real thing in person, and now you're like, okay, what is this? Yeah. So
no, for sure. Yeah, we never really talked about what's it called social media back in the day, but back in the day, MySpace was like fucking huge, and that if you want to feel old, that's fucking 20 years ago. MySpace.
Whoa, really?
Back when it was at its high, MySpace was like the peak of like social media. It was huge. It was like Twitter. It was AOL. It was Facebook, all put together. Yep. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. And that's how, I would talk to girls. I saw like different girls as things, and it's weird, man, but like you get to see everyone's personality with their MySpaces.
It was customizable. You could change the wallpaper, so when people got into it, you could see what you liked. Yeah. I remember when you would enter somebody's page, music would play automatically, which I was just like, then you get a taste of what they like in music, the videos they upload.
Tumblr. It was like Tumblr, but fucking cool, man. It's all personalized, like you were saying. Dude, I saw some girls like that were in my class that I never talked to. I'm like, holy fuck, you like this shit? Like, right. Damn. Right. Anyway, we go back to middle school, dude, because like, ever get to middle school? There was this girl that I've always wanted to be with, and I never got the chance to be with her. But going back to like the MySpace stuff, like I saw her MySpace, I'm like, I think I'm in love. Like, this is the girl that like, I don't know why, but I really vibe with this chick. Yeah. And this is the girl I never got with, and I never had the courage to ask her out. So, in middle school, we'll call her Campenhagen. I don't know.
Ooh, that's such a big, long name.
Yeah.
Just call her MySpace. Space.
I'll call her Cherries.
Cherries.
I'll call her Cherries.
Chairs or cherries?
Cherries.
All right, cherries. I'll remember that.
So, Cherries, I had the biggest crush on her, and her friend, we'll call her like Kate, or whatever. Anyway, she would come up to me always, and she'd be like, hey, what are you thinking with this? I see that you're giving her eyes. Like, what's going on there? And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm in love.
I think I'm in love. The googly eyes.
We would have classes together all the time, me, her, and her friend. And I would be like, I'd send her like a love letter. I'd be like, hey, I think you're really cute. Do you want to go out sometime? And then she wrote back.
Oh, did you write the yes or no on it? Oh my god.
Yeah, that was in middle school. So, and then she's like, no, ask me in person.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like,
she almost had me.
But I was like, she said no. Oh. I was a fucking, I wasn't matured back then. Like in terms of like a, what's it called? In terms of like a person that has developed feelings, I was hurt. I was like, fuck. But I didn't see the bigger thing. I just asked her out. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Like in person. And then her friend would comfort me all the time. I spent more time talking to her best friend
than her.
Yeah. And I was just like, is there something going on here? Because her best friend was like really good. Like she's super, super cute. Yeah. And at that time, I would say like, Yeah, hot, like super. And so I would see her like being more with like popular people, more because I'm like a scumbag. I'm like Aladdin, like a rat in the sewer. You know what I mean? And she's like over there hanging out with the palace kids, and she's this kid.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you talking to my friend? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Hey, I think he's cute.
Hanging out with the cockroaches, huh?
Yeah, exactly. With the street vermin or whatever.
Yeah.
So it ended up
hilarious.
So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that story in because that was pre middle school and all that stuff before macaronis. Anyway, going to high school, there's girls every time. So every semester, I think sophomore year, right after I broke up with macaroni, there was this chick. We'll call her. Sophomore year was this girl named. No, holy shit! It was split, dude. What do you mean? Every semester there was I won't name them all because there's a lot.
That's what I was telling you. Is there like 16 girls? Because you said there's like 4 semesters in 1 year.
Half of one semester or one school year was one girl, and another school year was another girl.
So it's 2 semesters.
Yeah, and then I want to say 2 semesters. I think it was that. But anyway, the next year it was just now one girl every year, and every semester was like. Weird. It was just weird. I can't remember all, but like, yeah. In terms of that, like, I remember about 6 girls for sure.
Yeah.
6 girls. Like,
I was gonna say, isn't it weird in that time period between high school and college, you date people nonstop, left and right, and then once you get out of that 21, 22, 23 age, and then you start to take life a little bit slower, that dating consistently off and on, like, doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't, because I just stopped like when I was in high school, when I went to college, my main goal was to make friends.
Right.
I didn't care for relationships at that point. I mean, I was excited to meet girls.
Yeah.
College girls, like, fuck. Holy shit, right?
Right.
But like at the time, I was just like, I just wanted to make friends because like I felt like at the end of my senior year, I was like at my most depressed. You know, I was like the saddest I've ever been. I didn't have any much friends there. Things were just happening all the time, and I wanted to start college a fresh perspective, right? And I never really had friends because like people come in and out, and I never had that consistency.
Yeah,
I do have friends that I still talk to this day, which I consider our friendship to be like great. Anyway,
so now it's macaroni.
Now it's going to college now. And college, I make a club, the anime club, obviously.
Yeah.
And in the anime club, there's this girl that introduced me to one of her friends because I think I had an event where we're doing like water balls outside or something like that. And her friend comes over, and we'll call her friend. I don't know what to call her. Maybe
Hello Kitty. That's pretty much I can think of.
We'll call her Sausage.
Why?
I don't know. It's probably better.
All right.
Anyway, Sausage here is really cool at first.
Yeah.
And she comes over with this nice top and these shorts, and she's like, "Do you like soccer?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you talking?" Like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So we start playing, we start having a good time, and it didn't feel forced. It felt kind of like, oh, she came here to see me.
Like a natural click.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what she wanted you to think.
Absolutely. And she was roping me in, like, all the way. Like, she was obviously...
she was baiting you, man.
She was baiting me in. And her friend was, like, setting her up as, like, hey, I'll bring her over, and this is the kind of girl, if you're interested. She's really cool. She's damaged, obviously, like... You know, she's damaged goods.
She checks the list that you have.
Yeah, and at the time I was just like, sure, bring her over. It doesn't really matter. And she came over, and immediately, like, we started like talking heavily. We started to, and at the same time, when I made the club, there was a girl that I've which became one of my girlfriends later on, a girl from the club when I first started it.
Is that Hello Kitty?
Yeah, we'll call that one Hello Kitty.
Yeah. Now I feel like that's Hello Kitty. Okay.
But before.
Yeah, Sausage. I see why now. Okay, that makes sense. I got you.
Sausage was, dude, at the time, that was my first love.
Yeah.
Absolutely my first love. I don't know if you remember your first love, but you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
The first love of my life, I thought this girl was going to be the one that I was going to be with forever.
Yep.
And we checked up all the boxes of like, of what a relationship is, from her parents, from mimicking what they do for love and how they, you know, communicate with each other, and all the things I was going through at the time. It just seemed like there was a lot more there was a good amount of high points, a lot of them, like decent high points, but there was a lot more low points, and I thought that was normal, and it's not.
Right. And that's probably because of your family background, if anything.
Yeah.
So that's just something you're comfortable with.
Exactly, but I didn't want to think that that living in misery was just like a thing that just always is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And this not being happy or fulfilled as a man and all that stuff, and or just even as a person, it's like this isn't right. But I thought that that's what was normal.
Yeah.
So I got to the point where like we dated for like 3 years or so, on and off again. We would keep breaking on. It was really toxic, honestly. It kept getting much more toxic. And when it came to the point where like I think I told you about this many times, where it was so stupid. It was I was in college. We were doing like a Halloween event.
Yep.
And then she calls me saying that her and her friend would like bully me all the time, like when we were together, and it wouldn't feel like we were just having a natural hangout. It'd feel like I was being
ganged up on.
Yeah. Not attacked, but just kind of like bullied all the time. And I'm like, this is very uncomfortable. Like it's at the same time.
Was that her natural persona? Was she typically like that?
And her friend followed the lead, yeah. Or of her friend, and Sausage followed the lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that Sausage started to I guess, in a sense, provoke it, but once she saw her friend do it, she's like, oh, I'm going to tag along.
Yeah.
I got you.
And that's kind of what... And they were best friends. And they were on and off.
Right.
But this is really fucked up because, like, at the time, my... our Sausage or whatever had, like, severe depression.
Yeah.
So this is the one that, like... I thought depression at that time, I didn't think it existed. Mm-hmm. At least it exists, obviously. It's a real thing. Depression is real. But I tackled it, the sadness and like that, the low points of depression, I tackled it in a way similar how a lot of foreign countries would talk about diseases or something like that, where they just wouldn't mention it. They would talk about it and explore them in very healthy ways, but they wouldn't mention it to manifest them. That's the main thing. So obviously, if you have it, talk about it for sure. Like, do it. For me, it was more the fact of like, I don't dwell on those things because I try to think about positive things and I try to explore positive things rather than if I say it that I have it, then I have it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'd rather just not think about that I have it and just like, this is very like, obviously at the time it was just like very unhealthy thinking. That's how it was.
Sounds like you're just ignoring the issue. Yeah. Hoping that it goes away.
Yeah, but it at the same time, it never became an issue for me.
Right.
For me. But
because you pushed it away.
Exactly. But
because you never really like faced it, so you like pushed it away. You're
possibly,
like,
but I never had that issue though. Like I never had that like that realization like, oh my God, is this what it is? No, it was never like that.
Right.
But or at least I never felt like that. But anyway, for her, she would wake up in the middle of the night and she'd be like, hey, this is what, like 4 a.m? She'd wake up in the middle of the night. She's like, hey.
Having an episode.
She pokes my nose. I'm sleeping. She's like poking my nose and shit. And I'm like, yes. And she's like, I need you to kill me.
Jeez.
Like 4 a.m.
Yeah, dead serious, looking at you straight in your face.
Well, it's this look.
It's not even blinking.
It's this look of, I don't know how to explain it. Like she hadn't slept. This is all she was thinking about. And I'm like, I couldn't understand it because at the time she had everything. She comes from a wealthy background, and depression can happen to anybody. Right. Now that I've grown as an adult, I understand more of the world, and I understand all of these more things. I didn't understand it back then. Right. That depression could happen at any moment, at any given time, to anybody, depending on their class, depending on how much money they have. It could happen anytime.
Depression doesn't choose the people. Yeah. I didn't. It's not like picky. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was
at the time. Yeah.
At the time, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm like, shit.
Yeah. You saw red flags.
Well, this was like a year in now, and now that we've gotten comfortable with each other, I was sleeping over her place. I pretty much lived there.
Yeah, but
I lived there for like 2-3 years.
Fuck.
But like now, like 6 months, I should say, 6 months in, like I these red flags kept coming up, and every time that they happen, I'm like, her mom's upstairs, like, hey, I'm gonna go just talk to your mom real quick, and her mom, to this, I love her mom so much. Yeah, I consider her to be like a second mom to me. Yeah, she helped me out in so much in my life, and I love her mom like. As like a second mom to me. That's the way I see her. She's just a beautiful person, like amazing, like just everything you would want like a mom to be. You know, what I mean? Perfect. Oh, anyway, going back, I'm like I couldn't understand how this could happen why she was thinking this, because not only did she have money, she had a loving family, or like what I thought a loving family would be. She had everything.
Yeah.
So what came up with this? Like,
Yeah.
why did she want me to kill her right there and then? So I go talk to her mom. She's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to do this and this, and we would always go back into the circle, because this happened all the time.
Yeah.
Of like, maybe we should start getting getting you help. And what are you missing in your life? You want to do photography? Okay, you already have the cameras. We start planning out things.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, she just wouldn't feel motivated to do any of this stuff, because depression really had a cling on her.
Yep.
At the time, I couldn't understand that, because I'm like, if this is what you're feeling, you have the opportunity to go to a different state, live life completely fine,
Yeah.
live your dreams, and you would be fine.
Yeah.
Because you could do that. I can't do that.
Right.
I don't have the financial backing or the family or whatever. So I'm like, shouldn't I be the one depressed?
Right.
You know what I mean? I couldn't understand. There was all of these thoughts I couldn't understand, because like she had all this opportunity in front of her, and she just couldn't. She just didn't. I didn't want it. It's not about she didn't want to do it. She just couldn't understand why she couldn't do it. You know?
Yeah.
Because when depression has a hold on you, it makes you think in a different way.
Right.
Anyway, the day we broke up, going back to Century College, when I was there doing the Halloween event, she calls me and she's like, Arturo, I think this is it. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, and then she starts, at the time, Adele's Hello had come out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to pop music, so I don't fucking know what it is. Adele's Hello comes out, and she's like quoting the lyrics, and the lyrics are super depressing out of context.
Yeah. It's like hello from the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her friend was just like, her friend was there, like keep going. And the reason I tell you about her how that she wanted me to kill her or whatever, the stuff, or like all of these things, is because that I was like, what? I'm 20 minutes away. I can go to her house right now.
Yeah.
I had the fear that she was gonna do something while I was away.
Yeah.
So I get in my car and I'm like, hold on a second, and I'm speeding. And then she's like, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to kill myself. Like, I just can't live anymore. And then she keeps quoting the lyrics, but she's also saying these things too, like I want to leave my family. I don't want to be in this world anymore. And she just keeps saying, like, it's really. I thought she was going to do it.
Yeah.
And then as I'm driving, like, just wait a second, just hold on a second, I'll be right there. And then in the background, her friend's like, are you fucking stupid, Arturo? Like, her friend saying that. And I'm like, how the fuck could you think that this is going? And they both start laughing. Like, completely laughing. Like, as if it was a
That seems like
joke.
the most toxic, mentally just abusive, honestly, like, it's not even funny to joke around with in that sense. Like, what, ha he, like, that's so fucking dumb, dude. Like, come on, like,
yeah. So that
Jesus.
night,
How old was she at this point? She's in college, right?
She was like a year older than me.
But this is college, right?
Yeah.
So she should definitely know a little bit better to not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we were very, at least to me, I was very toxic too.
Yeah.
At least, I'm like, no, actually, no. I didn't think I.
But it seems like it's
I didn't
mentally
have-
draining.
Yeah, I didn't have traits that she would consider to be a man in her relationship, and she wanted to force me to become a man in her eyes.
What do you mean?
Whatever she considered to be a man. So for her, it's more of like
Oh, she didn't think you filled the man role.
the man role for her specific needs, and she was trying to force me into that role. And I mean, at the time, I was confused. I don't know, like maybe I wasn't doing these things right, but I never thought that, like, I always had a secure, like, center of thing of, like, I feel like I know what's right with me and what's wrong with things that are happening with me. Anyway, my mom just moved into a new place over here in Brooklyn Center, like, years ago, like, however long it's been. And I call her and I'm like, hey, I can't do this. Like, this is like, we had plans to go and live in Los Angeles. I was going to go live there with her and do all these things. And I just could not drop my family, everything, to try and survive over there.
Yeah.
And even if things didn't work out, and my dad, everybody was saying, like, tell me, things are so bad that if you were to do that, you're by yourself now.
Yeah, there is no support.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
And I knew, thinking about more of the bigger stuff, like, obviously, why did that even cross my mind? We were going to have a child. We were going to go to, all of these things.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And I know what I need to be happy. And this is just more draining than anything.
Well, yeah, it sounds mentally draining. Like, I've been through that.
Yeah.
I've had, like, an ex that literally was mentally draining to the point where I had to just lie to her.
Yeah.
To, like, basically, like, I was so diabolical in this sense of leaving like little breadcrumbs of lies to basically doubt her out. Basically was manipulative at that point, just for her to break up with me, because I don't like to break up with people. I feel really shitty to do it because I'm such a nice person. I don't like saying like, nah, this is over, fuck you. I just can't do it. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I'm learning on that, but it's now to the point where I had to do these little like crumbs and then be like basically outspoken and be like, hey, you're mentally draining me. Like, I'm not even consciously like there when you're fucking talking to me. Sometimes I just like ignore you and I'm just like, wish that you weren't here,
because there's so much heavy shit thrown at you.
But it's not even that. It's just like unnecessary things that are just like, well, the smallest thing that just gets blown out of proportion. That's just like, this is so like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say. So
that's exactly what it was too with sausage.
That
a lot of stupid shit like that.
That alone is the reason why after that relationship I have never. I think it's almost been 3 years now. I've attempted one time only to try again a relationship, and that didn't work out, and I was fully like, I don't want to be in one. I'm perfectly happy. I've been happy the last 3 years. I've not suffered. I've not had to like do unnecessary things to fucking avoid situations. Like, it almost felt like you're on eggshells. And that's so annoying, dude.
That's what it was for me too.
That is so annoying.
On top of that, and was your lady too depressed at the time too?
No.
Or just like,
no, she had no signs of depression that she was aware of, but I think she had yes, bipolar, but there's like a certain thing for it. I forget what the term is. It's not exactly just bipolar disorder. I don't know.
It was probably that. But anyway, anxiety and like all that stuff.
I don't know. She was just annoying.
I mean, like, I had that. All of that stuff. I had that too with sausage, and it was really mentally draining, and as you know, all the time. And I broke up with her, and then her mom calls me, and she's like, "Hey, is this really happening?" I'm like, because we've been broken up before, where it seems like, yeah, we're gonna get back.
And then you're gonna get back,
And I'm like, no, this is the last straw. This is what she did, and I explained it to her mom. She's like, oh yeah, that is pretty fucked up.
That's fucked up.
And then
was that the call?
Yeah,
but that's the last straw.
That was the last straw, and I told her like, I just can't. And then I called back the sausage, and I'm like, hey, how do we get rid of that? We're relationship status and all this. So I made her walk me through all that stuff on Facebook. Like, hey, we just break up and shit like that.
Like, this is over with.
Yeah, I want you. And she's like, yeah, you just go through here and you do that. And I could just hear in her voice like, oh, this girl's gonna do something.
Yeah.
So
it's not your problem.
From what I know, she went to Cali. She just grabbed her stuff and just left to Cali. And I've seen her one time. Yeah. And I thought I hope the best for her. I honestly hope the best for her. Yeah. I have nothing against her.
Does she look fine? Does she look healthy?
She looks healthy, yeah. She looks
That's good. That's good.
I have nothing against this person. Like, I loved all my girlfriends. I've loved them to a point where I genuinely cared about them. And I still care about this person. But I just would never want a relationship, obviously, and I would never want to spend time with this person.
Well, you never know either. That she's probably different now than she was.
Oh yeah, people change.
So hopefully, she changed for the better and not for the worst.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's doing great. And I like I said, I hope the best for this person. Right. I don't hope anything bad about anybody. Right. I genuinely loved her at a time, and I just care about her, that she's doing fine and has support and has everything that she needs to, be fine. Yeah. But I was at Zupa's one time, and she came in, and it caught me off guard. Because the last time I heard, she went to Cali and
You were working there, right?
Yeah.
At Zupa's? Okay, so she came in as a customer.
She came as a customer, and I was like confused as shit, because I was like, the last time I heard of you, you went to Cali and you were presumed lost, like missing. Yeah. And there she was. She just came in, and I'm like, fuck. So I tell her, all my crew members, hey, I'm gonna go in the back and I'm gonna get some stuff because there's some stuff I gotta go. Anyway, I go in the back, and I don't know if she sees me as I'm there. But I'm pretty obvious. I'm the only guy there. There's like 6 girls. Yeah. Whatever. Go in the back. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to chill here for a bit because there's somebody I don't want to talk to right now. Yeah. At least it'd be kind of really, really awkward. At least I think so. I'm not, like I said, I have nothing against this person anymore. Yeah. Just because this is years later now. And she just goes in, and then she looks through the glass. Like, as if she sees me, I think. And I'm like, fucking like that. Yeah,
you're just like, you make eye contact with her, you just turn your head like, nope, you didn't see me.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting, and then I'm like telling my buddy, like, hey, can you just let me know when she leaves? And he's like, yeah. Like I said, I had nothing against her, and I wasn't like, it's weird. It's super childish because I could have just had like, hey, what's going on? Could have just done all that. But I just at the time I was just like, I already been through like this really dramatic thing that happened with Chipotle already, and I'm like, fuck this, I don't want to do that.
Right.
In any case, that was the lowest point of my relationship with any girl. Was that? I've had the next girlfriend is the Hello Kitty one.
Yeah.
The most, I would say the most, not the most recent, but close to the most recent of what I thought the perfect girlfriend to me at the time was.
Right.
And that to me is.
Do you feel like that's still the same now? Is that still a perfect girlfriend?
Close
concept.
To being, and even still, she wasn't perfect, and I wasn't perfect either. But that was genuine love and happiness that I've been needing to experience with someone, and I'm glad that I did with her, with Hello Kitty, the one that came after Sausage, and that's so weird for you to say that. Still the greatest one, yeah.
You know why? Because I've never come to terms in a relationship where I'm like, I'm truly happy with this person.
Yeah.
I've never come to that until afterwards.
Okay.
Where it's just like when I start reflecting on like everything that's like happened, I'm like, oh yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I never think to myself like I was truly happy at that point.
Yeah.
Same with the concept of like saying I personally don't know what true love is in a relationship. Like truly loving somebody.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's always issues with them that I see that is just like, nah. And then same with me where I'm just like, I have my own problems to deal with. So I feel like I still haven't fully have that concept and grasp of this is what love is. Like every day I'm fucking glad to see this person. And that's like, like
that's what it is.
I can understand the concept, but I just haven't gone through it. Yeah, so it's just like,
some people probably never go their whole lives with getting going to that point.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. You put it exactly that. As long as you understand the concept, you know what it is.
But it's shitty though, because then you almost look for it in the relationship. And then when you don't see it, then it's almost like
Well, that's part of the dating standard because when you're dating, you're actively looking for a partner to share. For me, the way I see it is dating is weaving out people that you do want in your life or whatever. Because I have a busy life. I have a life now that's been worth living, and I want to continue doing my stuff. And I'm not going to change that for whoever the fuck comes in my life. So whoever's going to come in my life, you don't need to support me, but you need to understand that, like, hey, you have to at least respect my stuff and not try to change. Oh, you're doing music again? What the fuck? Like, no. I brought you in here, and if you want to be with me, then this is who I am.
Right.
And I equally the same as the other person. If the other person that I choose to be with, or whoever, if they have all these problems, then I choose to accept them for what they are and their schedule, their time, and everything. The time that you guys are together is the embrace, is the missing, it's the getting to hug each other, getting to do all these things. It's that missing part some people just don't have. You don't have enough time because you're always together. People are always together. They never have that time to miss each other.
Yeah.
So having the time to like go.
Well, see, that's the thing where it's like I've had relationships where I've been distance where I don't get to see them every day.
Yeah.
And then it just grows into like me not liking them anymore. Mm-hmm. And then there's times where I've been there every day watching them, and it grows for me to be like, I don't like this person. Just like things, because then there's never been like that well balance between. I don't know, dude. I've really come to the point where it's like in the dating aspect and like relationships, I would prefer to be alone.
Yeah.
Now,
for me right now, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Because like a relationship, not only takes commitment, but it's time as well, and it's respect to that person. Yeah. So if I were to ever have someone here, it would be really shitty that they would only get an hour of my time a day.
Yep.
And that's it. And that sounds fucking horrible. Who would want that relationship? I need to be at a place, and this is why I'm not. This is why I choose to be single, and I'm happy being single. But I choose to be single because I have too much shit going on, and if I were to put a relationship in that too, it would just be in a terrible spot where, if you're not on board, you have to work around my schedule, and it's just like I can't give you my time that you deserve. The person deserves time and affection too, and if I can't give you that, there's no reason for me to be in a relationship right now. I just can't.
Right.
It's just not fair.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of like, I'd rather be happy alone than to be miserable.
Yeah, and you know what makes you happy. You know what, you know.
And then it's also that fear of like people like their intentions of dating at that point too. It's like what we talked about earlier in the car is like, well, certain people have checklists.
Yeah.
And it's like they'll find anybody that's closest that could fill it up easily, and then that's it.
Get married right away, and then problems happen, and then you got to try to resolve them, or it's just a complete waste of time is the way I see it. Yeah.
It's just one of those things that's just annoying.
Because it is different for women, is what we were saying. Like, women just have a different schedule than we do.
Yeah.
They're more on if they want children, they're on a time crunch. If they want a family, or if they want to have a house and everything, maybe it's just about being well in society, or just like rooted in, like we were saying, in their subconscious, that they need to have all these things by a certain time in order to think that they are content, or they are now fitting the norms of what is normal.
Yeah.
And if you're not like that, people are like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you get a man? Why can't you, or whatever the fuck? It's like, it's not about that. It's just like, are you content with, if you can be content with yourself, that's really what it is, you know what I mean? Right. You can eventually get married, can eventually have kids, but once you've understood yourself, you know what I mean? Once you understood if that's actually what you want. Yeah. Shelter is one thing, but like happiness and everything else is another thing. Right. At least that's the way I see it. Anyway, for me, my exes, I literally, the last one I had, what's it called? The last of my exes, Hello Kitty or whatever, what I consider to be the best one, we just split up because we were going in two different paths. We split up when we were in Cato. And we came back here. We were just doing we were still seeing each other and still like being in each other's presence, but it was not healthy. Yeah. So after we broke up, we just kind of like, I saw it at a point where it was just like I was being kind of manipulative and kind of making her cry at different things, and I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? You know, it took a second because like she's such a sweet person. Yeah. And when I realized that I made her cry and I felt like a monster, I was just like, no, this is bad. We're done. Right. No matter how many things happen, like how I just couldn't let go of that. Yep. But when I saw that, I'm like, I just needed to let it go. And that's I still love that person to this day. Not romantically, but as a friend, like I would always still care for them. Right. If I ever saw them again, and I saw her like a couple years later and shot the shit, I still care for him. Right. A lot. Yeah. Anyway, for you, any closing thoughts? Like any other girlfriends that you had that high and low points for you?
No, not really. I mean, like, I think every single one has taught me a valuable lesson. Every single one had their highs and lows at the same time, and that was because as a person I was growing and changing. So sometimes a relationship just didn't work out. So it was kind of funny because I always thought of it like this, where I would date a girl and then we would break up. And everything that I did wrong in that relationship, I would bring it on to the next relationship and like be like, you know, I'm not going to do what I did in that one. Yeah. And sometimes when I would deal with that partner and I almost formed myself to be compatible to the last partner and like to not do the things that like I would have done then instead of just being myself. That like my ex would typically be like, I don't want to date you because you're because of this and that, and they were typically things that I learned from the last relationship not to do. So then I wasn't being genuinely who I am and who I was.
There has to be a mix,
right? So it was just like, so then it was just like, oh, okay, well now I don't, and it became like almost like a repeat and pace. So like I wouldn't do this next relationship. They'd be like, well, I would have preferred almost how you were the last relationship than what you are now. So I've always been like, well, fuck this at this point. I'm not going to switch for anybody. I don't really give a shit. Like, I'm just going to stick to my beliefs, and that's really it. No, like, I'm not changing for nobody. That's what you
should do. You have to stick to what you believe, but you have to also live, when you are ready to be in a relationship, you have to live the best life that you want. You have to be happy. You have to be content, and then someone else that's coming into your life should not fill your happess for you. Right. It should just add to it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Right. It shouldn't be a source of happiness, but you gotta first step though, living the best life when you do want a relationship. Right now, don't change for whoever you want, or don't do anything. Just be you. Any case, well, we say this now because like, oh, my little sister Bree, what's it called, for Valentine's Day, what's it called, was asked out or whatever, and she said, like, I told her like, hey, don't date till like you're 15 or whatever, and even still, like, when you're 15, do whatever the fuck you want, right? But you're still young, you still got a couple years. But anyway, I think she started seeing this kid, and I'm like, okay, look, as long as this kid is like somebody that's not that's not a stranger.
Yeah.
I still don't know this fucking guy, and I don't have a problem with her dating. I love her and I care for her, and I'm just very protective of her.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, when she told me, when they told me all this stuff, I'm like, look, I didn't know how I felt about it, but if anyone ever, hurt her, because people will get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of, like, you in a relationship, there's high points and low points, like what we just talked about.
Yeah.
And as a younger kid, like, going into these things, it's like, if as a brother standpoint, if anyone ever hurt her, I don't know what the fuck I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just made me worried that, like, we just talked about our high points and low points.
Yeah.
And they're about to experience that stuff too. And my only fear is, like, I'm always going to be there for her.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm very protective of her. So I'm like, as long as there's a mutual thing, I'm totally okay with that. But the reason I bring this up is because of that. It's because, like, now my little sister, who should not be allowed to date, I still think so.
Right.
She can see every fucking boy she wants. She can talk to every fucking kid and get to know him. And if she's already known this kid who she's known since elementary school, that's fine. But yeah, take it slow. Figure out if you guys even like each other.
Right.
Because, like, apart from physical attractions, do you guys even vibe?
Right.
You know what I mean? Little things like that. And then if it develops to be something beautiful, I'm fucking there.
Right.
But right now, it's like it's just this new thing because I thought, it's like I just thought that she wouldn't date until she would be around that time. But I think right now they're all still working on it because, like, the older sister wasn't allowed to date till 15. She's like, why the fuck does she get to?
Right.
All this has full right to be like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, look, guys, dating is complicated. That's what the whole point of this podcast was.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Get to know somebody first before you accept them in your life. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, before you easily give them the right to, like, see your dog.
Yeah.
Look at your, like, dishes. You know, just, like, see if they're fucking chill.
Yeah, little things like that.
The best thing I could actually give as an advice?
Yes, please.
You think, go on a trip with them. Go on a trip with them.
Like, I wouldn't have her go by herself with her, but I'm
talking about, go on a trip with her by herself or even with a group of friends.
Yeah, group of friends.
See how she acts on that trip.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, being on a trip with her alone.
Yeah.
Because then you get to realize, like, how she is as a person.
Yeah.
Under stressful situation in a sense, because you're in a new city, you don't know what's going on, things are just not going to work out the way they are.
Perfect to do, like, when you're 16 or 18.
Yeah,
that's amazing. But I probably like for a what's it called, like a kid or whatever. For group friends, go to or what they do even more. Mission trips. Yeah. Fucking mission trips are like the best, man. For like younger kids going to be with somebody that you like or whatever, you get to explore these highs and these lows, but not a lot of stressful situations. Yeah. But those things come in later for, like, testing real relationships for sure. Exactly what you said. Yeah. But I would say, like, I'll run that, like, 16 or 18, testing a real relationship, going to a different city. Holy shit. Yeah.
It just makes sense because then you get to see who they truly are at the end of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, it's almost like things where you kind of zone out and you don't want to look at.
Yeah.
But then once you're stuck in a new state, this is the only person you know, so you only rely on them.
Yeah.
And you see how they act and they're like how their character is, and then you're kind of like, why do I want to be with this person? Like, I'm completely fine.
Absolutely. There's actually there's a lot of movies, and not to go too off tangent, but there's a lot of movies that explore the normals, the front of what we consider to be people. But, like, what makes human drama, is pushing that person to the limit to explore the foundational core of who that person actually is.
Right.
Like, if they're good, if they're, like, moral, or if they're really fucked up. And, people need to eventually, push each other to a limit to understand each other. And you're completely right on that. Right. Closing thoughts. This is good.
Yeah. Closing thoughts is don't have cockroaches in your cereal boxes.
Make sure this was in the same podcast, wasn't this? Is fucking.
Make sure that there's no cockroaches in there. No.
This is a pretty lengthy one, but this is actually a very good one too.
You hear crunchiness?
Yeah.
Better spit it out.
All right, guys. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Adios, and sign up. Yeah.
I'm glad you came along, partner.